You feel different lately. Not broken, not lost, just different. The things that used to excite you don't move you the same way anymore. The noise feels louder. The distractions feel empty. Conversations that once felt normal now feel shallow. And sometimes you wonder what's wrong with you. But nothing is wrong. You are awakening. There comes a moment in life when your soul gets tired of pretending, tired of shrinking, tired of performing, tired of living disconnected from its depth. And when that moment arrives, everything shifts quietly. You begin craving solitude, not because you hate people, but because your spirit needs silence. You start questioning old patterns, old relationships, old goals. Things that once felt important now feel misaligned. It's not confusion, it's remembrance. There is a version of you that existed before fear shaped you, before rejection made you doubt yourself, before society told you who you had to be. That version was intuitive, powerful, grounded, light-filled, and she never disappeared. She just went quiet while you survived. Awakening is not becoming someone new. It is returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. You start noticing signs, synchronicities, patterns aligning, people leaving, new doors opening. It feels almost mystical, like something invisible is rearranging your life. That's because something is. When you raise your awareness, your environment begins to adjust. When your frequency changes, your connections change. When your standards rise, access shifts. And it can feel lonely, because awakening separates you from who you used to be. You no longer tolerate what drains you. You no longer chase validation. You no longer force spaces that feel heavy. And some people won't understand that. They'll say you changed. Yes, you did, because you remembered. You remembered that your worth was never up for negotiation, that your energy is sacred, that your intuition is guidance, not imagination. You remembered that your softness is strength, that your silence carries power, that your presence shifts rooms without effort. Awakening feels like isolation at first, like you're walking between two worlds, the old one that feels familiar but small, and the new one that feels expansive but uncertain. But uncertainty is not danger. It is growth. The old version of you was built on adaptation, on survival, on fitting in. The awakened version of you is built on alignment. Alignment with truth. Alignment with peace. Alignment with purpose. And purpose rarely screams. It whispers. It calls you into deeper waters, into solitude, into reflection, into self-confrontation. And that is where your ancient self rises, the part of you that knows without proof, that feels before logic, that discerns energy without explanation. You are not becoming powerful. You are remembering that you always were. The anxiety you felt? It was your soul resisting misalignment. The exhaustion? It was the weight of pretending. The frustration? It was your intuition asking for expansion. Awakening strips illusions. You begin to see clearly who is aligned, who is attached, who is genuine, who is transactional. And clarity changes everything. Some relationships will fall away. Some dreams will dissolve. Some paths will close. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Because you cannot enter a higher awareness while gripping lower attachments. The awakened version of you chooses differently. She chooses depth over distraction, peace over chaos, truth over approval. She does not chase. She attracts. She does not beg. She aligns. She does not shrink. She expands. And that expansion may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is a sign of transformation. You are shedding layers that no longer match your spirit. You are dissolving identities that were built out of fear. You are stepping into a self that feels ancient and new at the same time. And one day, you will look back at this season and realize nothing was falling apart. Everything was awakening. You are not lost. You are remembering. You are not late. You are aligning. You are not changing. You are returning. And the more you trust this process, the more powerful you become. Because awakening is not loud. It is quiet, deep, sacred, and it is happening right now. And the truth is, awakening is not always beautiful at first. Sometimes it feels like grief. You grieve the version of you that tolerated less. You grieve the relationships that no longer fit. You grieve the comfort of not knowing. Because ignorance can feel safe. Awareness demands responsibility. Once you see clearly, you cannot go back. Once you feel the misalignment, you cannot pretend it doesn't exist. Once your spirit expands, small spaces feel suffocating. And that can feel overwhelming. There will be days when you question everything. Days when you miss who you used to be. Days when you wonder if this path is worth it. But every transformation has a breaking point. The caterpillar does not become the butterfly without dissolving first. The seed does not become the tree without splitting open in the dark. The phoenix does not rise without fire. You are in the in-between. Not who you were. Not fully who you're becoming. But awakening in the space between identities. And that space is sacred. Because this is where you rebuild yourself consciously. Not based on fear. Not based on validation. Not based on survival. But based on truth. You start asking deeper questions. What do I actually want? What feels aligned? What drains me? What expands me? You begin noticing your intuition more clearly. That subtle feeling in your body when something isn't right. That calm certainty when something is aligned. That inner whisper that says, this is for you. Your ancient self speaks softly. It doesn't scream. It doesn't force. It guides. And the more you listen, the stronger it becomes. You may feel called to different environments, different conversations, different habits, different people. This is not random. It is recalibration. Your nervous system is adjusting to peace. Your heart is adjusting to self-respect. Your mind is adjusting to clarity. And clarity changes your standards. You no longer argue to be understood. You no longer over-explain your boundaries. You no longer chase people who hesitate. Because the awakened version of you knows. What is meant for you will recognize you. You start moving differently. Slower. More intentional, less reactive, more observant. You realize that not everything deserves your energy, and energy is sacred. The more conscious you become, the more protective you are of your time, your mind, your emotional space. You begin valuing solitude, not as loneliness, but as alignment. Because in solitude, you hear yourself again. You hear your desires without outside influence. You hear your intuition without interference. You hear your power without distortion. This is not isolation. This is initiation. You are being initiated into a higher awareness of yourself. And initiation requires separation from the old. Old habits, old thought patterns, old attachments, old identities. It may feel like everything is shifting at once, but nothing is collapsing. It is restructuring. You are not breaking. You are shedding. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting yourself. And the more you trust this process, the less scary it feels. Because you begin to understand. Your ancient self was never gone. She was waiting. Waiting for you to choose truth over comfort. Waiting for you to choose alignment over approval. Waiting for you to choose depth over distraction. And now you are. You are no longer asleep. You are aware. You are present. You are powerful. And awakening does not make you better than anyone. It makes you honest with yourself. Honest about what you feel. Honest about what you need. Honest about who you are. And honesty is freedom. This is why everything feels different. Because you're different. You are remembering your depth. Your discernment. Your divine intelligence. You are remembering that your energy shifts rooms, that your intuition is accurate, that your spirit is resilient. You are remembering that you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to awaken. And this is only the beginning.